John Allen
we
Shaw
go.
paddles through the Indian Ocean. He's on a holy mission,
North Sentinel.
sent from God.
I think that's the islands that are banned to travel.
As he nears the
Like
shore,
uncontacted tribes.
he spots them. They are shouting at him in a language he doesn't understand. He carefully listens to the sounds they make. In an attempt to greet them, he responds by imitating the sounds. They laugh. Then two come towards him. So he throws gifts wrapped around two large fish into the shallow water. Then he starts to sing Christian worship songs, and for a moment, they pause. But his kayak scrapes onto the dead coral, forcing him to get
Is this like one of those Christian missions that they do?
out.
At least they did back in the days.
And some of them are getting
know.
very close now.
How about now?
Suddenly, a child grabs an arrow, pulls back his bow, and shoots.
Is this gonna hit the Bible and it's gonna be one of those stories? The Bible protected me?
John entered a forbidden place where time stands still. Outsiders like him are not welcome.
Like, interesting, what type of morals do they have in their society, these tribes?
North Sentinel Island is one of the most secluded places on Earth,
2018.
and it's home to a tribe that has lived in total isolation for tens of thousands of years.
Tens of thousands. What?
We don't know what language they speak, how many they are, or even what they
That's
call
crazy.
themselves. Over the years, contact attempts have ended in confusion,
Can they be like the first ones?
violence, and death. Myths, viral headlines, and speculation have turned North Sentinel into a modern-day internet legend.
Go to North Korea or North
The real story is much more nuanced.
I think North Korea is safer.
It's one of intrusive American tourists with Diet Cokes, ruthless Christian missionaries, abusive colonialists, traumatized children, and a highly destructive obsession with the exotic.
Are they cannibals there? Or they don't do that? Like, it's interesting how their society operates.
The internet has
That's
a lot to
correct.
say about North Sentinel Island.
They have a theory that North Sentinel Island is home to a top secret research facility.
There is an island in the Andaman chain called North Sentinel Island. They kill everybody who lands there, essentially.
Yeah.
What really caught my eye was the circular building, 3 little offshoots coming off
Imagine if those are actually agents and they pretending to be...
of it.
There's North Sentinel merch, Instagram
Tribes.
pages, and fake Google reviews. Most of all, it's known for being dangerous.
Yeah.
North Sentinel has become a meme. In January 2025, this American YouTuber entered the island. He filmed himself trying to make contact with the Sentinelese. As a peace offering, he left behind a can of Diet Coke, but he never actually made contact. Instead, he got arrested. Indian police are currently investigating him for illegally trespassing in the strictly forbidden zone.
That's suspicious.
He is likely facing up to 5 years in prison.
I think we live in a world where all we need to do is sort of flip open our laptop or look at our phone, and we can connect with just about anybody in the world, learn anything that we want to learn, see any place that we want to see.
Yeah, there's gonna be a
And
conspiracy
Yet
here.
there's still this one place that's isolated. So it really is kind of the last place in some ways that's unexplored on our planet.
North Sentinel is not what the internet paints it to be. To truly grasp it, we need to go back in time, quite far back. It's
I
the
mean,
last
they say it's
Ice Age,
uncontacted.
a group of early humans set out from their
But-
home in Africa. It's still debated when exactly that took place, but it is believed to be between 40 and 60,000 years ago. They're among the
Holy.
first to migrate eastward across the vast Asian continent in search of more favorable climates,
Imagine how ugly people used to look like. back
new
then.
food sources, and habitable land. The world looks
Yeah,
very
nothing
different.
changed.
Massive ice sheets cover parts of North America and Europe. Since much of Earth's water is locked in ice, sea levels are often far lower than they are today. What we
And
now
it's continuing to get warmer and warmer
call
till
the
this
Asian
day.
continent stretches farther.
Like,
Some
the
islands
summers are so
connected,
hot.
and so these early humans
Nowadays it's crazy.
They cross landscapes long lost beneath the waves of what we now call the Indian Ocean. They likely use vessels like rafts or canoes to hop from island to island,
Going to Australia was a mistake,
and their
definitely.
journey eventually
Like
brings them
the
here.
Creatures
we
there
don't know
are
when,
scary.
possibly up to 50,000 years ago.
Insects.
Today
ugh.
it's the Andaman archipelago, nestled in the Bay of Bengal. As thousands of years pass and the glaciers melt, the sea levels slowly rise. Bit by bit, their world shrinks. And what ultimately remains is a single remote island roughly the size of Manhattan, North Sentinel.
It's pretty
We
small.
spent countless hours crafting these animations, researching,
can they
building,
survive
refining,
then?
all to tell stories that matter. Maybe you're building something too, a product, a brand, a business. That's
Oh,
where
that's
Shopify comes in.
oh.
Shopify's want to bet. Scientists found that their genes carry two rare variants not found in mainland India populations. They are totally unique to the Andamanese. That means they likely split off from other human populations very early on, between 25 and 42,000 years ago.
Holy.
Genetically, the Sentinelese are likely one of the most unique human tribes on Earth, which also makes them one of the most vulnerable ones.
Are they even alive?
This is John 2 years before his journey to North Sentinel Island. He's 24 years old, raised in a Christian household. He went to an evangelical high school, just like his father. He's known for two passions, the outdoors and Jesus Christ. John is deeply interested in missionary work. Though his parents are Christian as well, they don't share his enthusiasm, especially his father.
In
But John
politics,
seems
we
to
call it
genuinely enjoy immersing himself in evangelical
advocacy.
doctrine. Right now, he's browsing through the Joshua Project. That's a Christian missionary database which tracks so-called unreached people groups. One entry is about North Sentinel.
Sentinelese people need to know that the Creator God exists and that He loves them, and paid the price for their sins.
We don't know much about the Sentinelese. The entire population is possibly somewhere between 80 and 100 people. Their language remains a complete mystery. No one, not even neighboring tribes, can understand it. No one knows what they call themselves. They live in small huts grouped tightly together. Overall, they're quite crafty. Wooden buckets, bows, arrows, all self-made with raw materials from the island. In the jungle they hunt pigs, along the reefs they fish. They also eat local fruits and raw honey. The Sentinelese are taller, more muscular, and overall healthier than their neighbors. A tsunami wreaked havoc in the region in 2004, but the Sentinelese miraculously survived. Experts believe this may have to do with their indigenous knowledge system. Foresight and wisdom is passed down from generation to generation. But this was perhaps the strangest discovery in a Sentinelese village. A wooden board, about 52 by 30 centimeters big, with 64 alternating squares. It looks exactly like a chessboard. Did the Sentinelese carve it themselves? Or did it wash up from the sea? No one knows. No other Andaman tribe has ever shown evidence of playing games like chess. John has been obsessed with the Sentinelese for years now.
I mean, what
the
do you even
missionary
do on
website
the
advises
island?
so-called prayer points.
Pray that the Indian government will allow Christians to earn the trust of the Sentinelese people and that they will be permitted to live among them. Pray that God will open doors to Sentinelese people to receive the gospel message.
John could be the first one that brings
Was written
Christianity
by the
to them.
Karen.
In fact, he thinks it's his calling.
God, I thank you for choosing me before I was even yet formed in my mother's womb, to be your messenger of your great news to the people of North Sentinel Island.
The Sentinelese certainly didn't express any desire to be converted. Their experience
No shot.
with intruders has been, well, pretty terrible. It's the year 1880. A Sentinelese family walks through the jungle. Suddenly, they hear voices through the bushes. Unfamiliar
Maybe they forgot.
voices.
You know, it was pretty long time ago.
For weeks now, strange white men have been fighting their way through the jungle on the island. They carry weapons and seem to be looking for inhabitants. When they approached one of their villages some days earlier, the Sentinelese ran away. Now, suddenly, they stand face to face. Ready to defend his family, the old man reaches for an arrow. The armed intruders rapidly encircle the Sentinelese family. They are led by the man in the center. His name is Morris Vidal Portman, and he's been searching for them for a long time. Portman is a 20-year-old British officer put in charge to oversee the Andaman Islands under colonial rule. He is fascinated with the indigenous tribes in the area. While staying in Port
Are they gonna die?
Blair, the capital city of the Andaman Islands, he immersed himself in the study of the Andamanese people.
From diseases?
Culture, food, crafts, and tattoos. Everything is carefully documented in his notebooks. He arranges young Andamanese men for the camera, posing them in unnatural, almost performative ways. He likes to surround himself with a group of Andamanese convict servants. He calls them junglies. But there's one place he hasn't conquered so far, North Sentinel Island. To him, it's the last great mystery of the archipelago. He's obsessed with the Sentinelese, convinced that he could be the first white man they'll ever meet. He's tried to contact them before and failed. But now, he has a new plan. As the old Sentinelese man draws his arrow, one of the intruders jumps on his back. The 3 Sentinelese are wrestled down and taken, torn from the only home they've ever known. Portman has them brought back to his ship. 3 Sentinelese children are already on board, captured earlier. The islanders don't understand who these men are or what they want. Portman takes them back to Port Blair. Here, he keeps them at his house to study them closer. The Sentinelese become very sick right away. Within just a few days, the old man and the woman die. Most likely, they were exposed to microbes and diseases their immune system couldn't handle. Now, it's just the 4 Sentinelese children without the elders. A few days later, they're
Maybe the children will adapt.
sent back to the island, overloaded with gifts. Portman hopes they'll return to their people as willing ambassadors. The children might have carried the very microbes that killed the man and the woman. We don't know what happened to them afterwards. Infections remain one of the greatest dangers to isolated tribes. Many have never been exposed to common viruses like the flu or even a cold. Their immune system simply can't cope. What's harmless to the rest of the world could be deadly for them. A single infection from an outsider could wipe out an entire tribe. In the 16th century, Spanish colonizers brought diseases to South America, likely without realizing it. In some regions, entire populations were cut in half. Andaman tribes were affected by this too. The Onge and Jarava have seen a dramatic collapse in their population. In 1901, the Onge numbered around 670. Today, barely 100 remain. Colonial intrusion, infectious diseases, and the steady loss of their land have all played a role in their decline. And Portman himself played a crucial role. According to historian Adam Goodhart, he was
very much a participant in and at least complicit with the genocide against the Andaman Islanders that was committed by the British in the 1800s. Somebody who was involved in exploitation, including sexual exploitation and physical abuse of the native people. And really, if it had been up to Portman, it probably would have happened to the Sentinelese as well, because he tried repeatedly to invade the island as he had done with many other groups and to bring them into submission to British rule.
Years later, Portman himself would admit that his actions may have sealed the Sentinelese distrust of outsiders for good. John finds himself blindfolded on a dirt road somewhere in the state of Kansas. He was put there and left alone. In the woods nearby, he finds a village. The inhabitants of the village appear to be some kind of native tribe. But not really. The village is fake, and the inhabitants are actors with costumes. All of this is part of his training. John joined a secretive boot camp for Christian missionaries.
That's scary, man.
All Nations is a
What the
religious
hell?
organization that trains people like John for their quests. And he is right in the middle of an exercise. His task is to
That's smart.
preach the teachings of Jesus to the isolated tribe he considers unholy heathens. The fake village people act as if they're hostile, aggressively threatening him with fake spears, speaking gibberish. To John, this is the ultimate test that will prepare him for his big mission on
Yeah, so
North
he can
Sentinel.
adapt.
He knows the danger of setting foot on the island. He knows it could cost him his life. In 1974, a National Geographic film crew tried to meet Sentinelese face-to-face on camera for the first time. The Sentinelese spotted the boat from afar and waved their arms, mocked the outsiders, and shot arrows at the crew. They clearly did not want visitors. 7 years later, a cargo ship named Primrose ran aground
That
on a
was
reef
funny.
on North Sentinel during a terrible storm. At first, the crew was probably relieved to be near dry land. But just 2 days later, they sent a desperate cable.
Wild men, estimate more than 50, carrying various homemade weapons, are making 2 or 3 wooden boats, worrying they will board us at sunset. All crew members' lives not guaranteed.
But because of the weather conditions, rescue missions failed. So the crew had to guard the ship with a flare gun, axes, and some lengths of pipe. But before it got to an actual fight, the crew was finally evacuated by helicopter. But still, John is determined to go.
So the ship is still there, right?
To him, North Sentinel may be Satan's last stronghold,
Maybe they're gonna adapt some of the technologies that is on a ship.
and he could be their savior.
I
That would
think
be smart.
I might die tomorrow, and I wish I could have had more time to express my thanks to you.
Now John is out of his kayak and an arrow is fired at him. Miraculously, it only pierces his Bible.
Sure.
He's unharmed, at least according to John's diary. It's unclear if his Bible actually saved him. It could well have been a bit of storytelling on his side. What's clear, the Sentinelese chase him into the water. In panic, he swims away towards a boat out at sea.
Yeah, it was definitely not just like in practicing.
It belongs to local Indian fishermen. Before setting off for North Sentinel Island, John had paid the fishermen a $325 bribe to take him there. They departed from Port Blair, towing a kayak behind it, the one John would use to make his approach to the island. Back on the boat, John takes stock of the situation. His Pelican case is gone. He had to leave it behind when he fled. It included a first aid kit, clothes, other essentials, and his passport. He had previously hidden another case on shore when he first landed to scout out the cove in the early morning. It is unknown if the Sentinelese found both cases, especially the one he hid might still be there to this day. Without his passport, he can't easily travel back to the US. For John, it's just another reason to stay and pursue his mission further. But the Sentinelese made it very clear. They do not want him there. And John really doesn't want to die. Yet, he decides to give it another try.
You guys might think I'm crazy in all this, but I think it's worth it to declare Jesus to these people. Please do not be angry at them or at God if I get killed. Don't retrieve my body. Soli Deo Gloria, John Chow, November 16th, 2018, 6:20 in the morning.
The next day, John takes the supposed pierced Bible as a sign. Today, he believes, is the day he will start to bring Jesus to the Sentinelese. This time, he tells the fishermen to leave without him. Next, he strips down to his underpants in an attempt to gain the tribe's trust. Then he steps back into the water and starts swimming. The island is just
They probably think he's an invader, like he's invading the territory.
within reach. There are
To
no
take
records
control.
of what exactly happened that day. The only thing we know for sure is the outcome.
They're probably really dominating when it comes to the territory, just having full control of it. Like it's not that big to begin with.
One day passes. The fishermen return and look for John. He's nowhere to be seen.
They're definitely aware of other islands because they like people coming from them.
Then suddenly they spot something. A group of Sentinelese emerge from the tree line, dragging John's dead body across the sand. No words, no mercy. The message is clear. He crossed a line. he was never meant to cross. John Allen Chau's death in 2018 made global news. Some called him a dumb American, a deluded idiot. John's father, a Christian himself,
Maybe the problem is in white people. Like, can they send like black people there so they would feel more friendly? I don't know.
doesn't share this view.
I don't know how they think, but maybe that's
He
the
blames
logic.
evangelicals' extreme Christianity for his son's death. In an email to The Guardian, he called religion the opium of the masses. The evangelical organization that trained him depicted John as a martyr. In a statement, they said, "The privilege of sharing the gospel has often involved great cost." A long time ago, a group of scientists actually managed to make peaceful contact with the Sentinelese after decades of trying. But these same scientists eventually pushed for the island to be under India's protection. Driven by concerns for the tribe's health, the island has been off limits since the late 90s. All anthropological work stopped. No more expeditions, no more gifts, no more visits. And to us, that's a good thing. After all, the North Sentinelese never asked for any of this.
So what about the conspiracy of like intelligence being there, whatever? Yeah, but it was pretty cool. My hidden talent is being able to spot an ad. Sure.